March 2, 2023. Hello and welcome to Real News. According to multiple news sources, on March 1, 1954, the U.S. military conducted its largest nuclear test in history by detonating the Castle Bravo device on Bikini Atoll, a coral reef in the Marshall Islands. According to Business Insider News, the U.S. had conducted dozens of nuclear tests in the Pacific between 1946 and 1958, with Castle Bravo being the largest. The bomb was 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that devastated Hiroshima during World War II. Although the U.S. military had tested several nuclear weapons in the Pacific after World War II, none of them matched the size of the Castle Bravo test. In fact, a nuclear weapons historian referred to it as the greatest single radiological disaster in American history. The radioactive fallout from the blast exceeded expectations and prompted questions about the development of atmospheric testing. Castle Bravo was the first of 6 weapons to be tested as part of Operation Castle, a weeks-long series of experiments with large-yield thermonuclear devices that ran from March 1 to May 31, 1954. The 23,500-pound bomb created a mushroom cloud that reached an altitude of over 130,000 feet. Despite the damage caused by Castle Bravo, the U.S. military continued to conduct nuclear weapons testing in the Pacific from 1946 to 1958, with a total of 67 tests carried out. However, the incident raised awareness about the dangers associated with atmospheric testing, leading to increased concerns about the impact of radioactive fallout. As a result, in 1955, the United Nations established the Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation to monitor the impact of radiation exposure and help governments and organizations develop protective measures and evaluate the risk of radiation. The US, UK, and Soviet Union signed the Limited Test Ban Treaty in 1963, which prohibited nuclear weapons testing in the atmosphere, outer space, and underwater but allowed underground testing. This agreement was the first of several aimed at nuclear weapons during the Cold War era. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty followed in the 1990s. According to Reuters News, Moscow is considering the use of nuclear weapons to defend against a possible attack by the United States. A recent article published in the Russian Defense Ministry journal, Voyne MYSL, Military Thought, described a new military strategy being developed by Russia that includes the use of nuclear weapons to protect against potential U.S. aggression. The article suggests that Washington is concerned about losing its dominance in the world and has plans to strike Russia to neutralize it. In response, Russia is developing a form of strategic deterrence forces that can demonstrate that its nuclear missile system cannot be crippled and that it can launch a retaliatory strike. The Russian Defense Ministry has not yet confirmed the RIA story. Recently, Russian President Vladimir Putin suspended a nuclear arms control treaty, put new strategic systems on combat duty, and threatened to resume nuclear tests. While Moscow claims it would only use nuclear weapons if its territorial integrity were threatened, some of Putin's allies have suggested that a calamity could be close. For example, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev warned that continued Western supply of weapons to Kyiv could risk a global catastrophe, including the threat of nuclear war over Ukraine.